Hello students, welcome to the online classes of geography of class 9. Today I am going to start the second chapter, Physical Features of India. Now have you ever thought what is the meaning of the term physical features? The features that we can see directly on the surface or of a particular, what we can say, maybe when we say physical features of human being, what we can see? We can see two eyes, nose, mouth, entire body anatomy in this order. So in the similar thing, when we say physical features of India, that means the features that we can see on the Indian landmass. We can see lots of variations on the Indian landmass. So today we are going to discuss about that what are the causes of evolution of these variations of the relief features or these diverse relief features. Under this topic, I have divided the class into three categories or under the three headings: geological periods, land scale development processes, and plate tectonic theory. Now, geology, the term, I think it's not new to you. You have already heard in various previous classes or different subject. The word geology means related to the study of the rocks, the composition of the rocks, the formation of the rocks. So when these rocks have been formed and along with them, when the life processes have been developed, the geographers or the geologists have classified the entire period of the age into geological periods. Now, what is the age of the earth? 4.6 billion. Now, this 4.6 billion years is classified into four different eras. We term it as an era, we term it as an era, a big time span of any sort of phenomena, and those big time span is further divided into small time span and it is termed as periods. So now like your entire one class is an era and we are having periods for a particular day, that is for a short duration of time. So in this way, the age of Earth, 4.6 billion, is divided into four eras, and those four eras are further classified into 11 periods. But we are not going to proceed with the 11 periods. I'll just deal up with the four eras of the Earth, geological periods. Now the first is the Precambrian era. Its duration is nearly 561 million to 4,800 million years ago. Now next, phenomena. The phenomena, what was there? There was one united landmass. When the earth was evolved out, there was only one united landmass and one large water body. We named that one united landmass as a supercontinent, Pangaea. And that large water body was named as Panthalassa. Pangaea and Panthalassa. So what is the resultant? During this Precambrian era, due to the Earth's interior heat, that supercontinent Pangaea, suppose this is the supercontinent, this entire is the supercontinent, and the surface surrounding by that is Panthalassa. Due to various internal heat, the Pangaea got splitted up into two parts, Angara land and Gondwana land. And the gap in between these two areas was filled up by the water of Panthalassa. And what is the resultant? The origin of the ocean. So, in this period, the continents and the ocean developed. Next is the Paleozoic era, that is 245 million to 560 million years ago. Now, in this period, I already mentioned, along with the geological phenomena, the other activities, the life processes also evolved out. So this was the age when the invertebrates got it existent. So this was termed as age of invertebrates. Third, Mesozoic era, 645 million to 245 million, age of reptiles. The most important dinosaur was the basic important reptile of this period. Now by this time, the landform, the oldest landform that got its existence was the plateau. Why? Because the supercontinent was the outcome of the solid landmass that was due to the volcanic eruptions, and then the breakup, the landmass, Gondwana land, Angara land, all these are the existence present, our southern part of our country. In the previous chapter we discussed the Deccan Peninsula, the peninsular part. It is a part of Gondwana land. So the oldest landmass was developed by during this era, that is the Paleozoic, Mesozoic era, the plateau was developed. Cenozoic era, 65 million years to the present time, and this is the age of the development of the mammals. But during this period, the another geological period that got it existent was mountain building activity. One of the important mountain of our country, mountain range of our country is Himalaya. You have heard about Andes, you have heard about Rockies, all Alps, all these mountain building activity took place during this era, Cenozoic era. So these are the four eras. Why I pulled up the topic of these eras? So you can get a concept that which is the oldest landmass. Now after the mountains form, what is the resultant? The mountain got snow capped. It gave origin to the perennial waters, the perennial rivers, and the rivers following the angle of slope, they moved down to the lower gradients, and as a result they sedimented the alluvium or the particles near the foothills of the mountain. So the resultant plains were developed. So in this way the landforms got it existent slowly and slowly, age after age. Now there are some processes of the landscape. The processes are categorized under the two headings: internal process named as endogenic and external process named as exogenic. Now first I am going to discuss about the exogenic process. Under the exogenic, the three important processes are breaking of the rocks, that is weathering, transportation of the weathered particles, that is erosion, and accumulation and sedimentation of the transported matter, that is deposition. These are the three important processes of the external part or the exogenic forces. Now, who are supplying the energy to proceed with these activities? As it is an external work, it is the energy they are getting from the solar radiation, from the sun. So these are the three processes. Continuously, either they are making a plane, or they are eroding a part, or they are developing, breaking the particles. So weathering, erosion and deposition are the three external processes that is continuously activating for the evolution of landforms. Now the next is internal processes. Now the internal processes is also termed as endogenic processes. Now this endogenic processes comes from the Earth's interior heat. So the source of energy is Earth's interior heat. Now have you ever thought that why the Earth's interior heat is being continuously maintained? It is due to radioactive decay. Now we are having, you have studied in chemistry or in other subjects of science, that there are three radioactive rays: alpha, beta and gamma. Now this alpha, beta and gamma, they are continuously activating if there is any sort of unstable nucleus, if there is any sort of unstable nucleus, so what is the resultant? Unstable nucleus means we know when there is an equal proportion of a proton and a when there is an equal proportion of proton and neutron, what is the resultant? It is a stable nucleus. And when there is a proportionate is not a equal, it is not equally proportionate, we term it as an unstable nucleus. So if the nucleus is unstable, it is very easy to spontaneously disintegrate by these alpha, beta and the gamma rays, and continuously this is going on, and as a result the Earth's interior heat is being maintained. And how the interior heat is being ejected out? It is ejected out by the process of convection current. You have already studied, or you already know about the convection current processes you have studied in the science subject. So due to this convection current process, that slab of lithosphere is teared out, and when it is tearing out, the supercontinent split up into two, Gondwana and Angara. Further, it splits up into various much more irregular parts, and these irregular slab of lithosphere is termed as plates, and they are continuously moving. So you have studied about plate tectonic theory. Now I am just going to explain about the third topic of today, that is plate tectonic theory. Tectonic means, actually the word tectonic is, the meaning of the word tectonic is creator, builder. What they are creating, what they are building or creating new landforms with the help of movement of the plates. Now this particular concept was propounded or was being followed or being identified in the year 1965 by two geologists or two scientists, Parker and Mackenzie. Now they found that continuously the irregular slab of lithosphere is being teared out, and they are floating in the layer of asthenosphere. We have studied in the previous classes the three layers of Earth's interior: crust, mantle and core. Mantle is termed as asthenosphere. The word asthenosphere, asthenos means weak, zone. So sphere means zone and asthenos means weak. So as it is not in a solid condition, it's not in a that is a firm condition, it is in a molten material condition, so it is unstable, it is weak zone, and all the plates float on this layer. And who is supplying the source of energy for this movement? Through convection current from the Earth's interior heat. Now next, when this convection current is continuously splitting up these plates, so we are getting two major type of plates. What are those? Where the continents are built up, we term it as a continental plate, and where the oceans are built up, we term it as a oceanic plates. So in this way, we already know that there are many continents. Hopefully you know how many continents are there and how many oceans are there. I'm not going to again repeat the names of it. I'll show the major continental plates and the oceanic plates of the world with the help of this world map. Now just see the continents of the Earth's surface, that is the total Earth's surface. How many continental plates are there and how many oceanic plates are there? The first continental plate is North American plate. The second continental plate is the South American plate. The third continental plate is the African plate. The fourth continental plate is the Eurasian plate, Europe and Asia together, Eurasian plate. Fifth continental plate is India, Australia, New Zealand, Indo-Australian plate. And the sixth continental plate, it has not been marked out over here, is the Antarctic plate. These are the 6 continental plate. and there is one oceanic plate. This is Pacific Ocean. The earlier name I said Panthalassa, the new name of that Panthalassa is Pacific Ocean. So one oceanic plate is there, that is Pacific plate. So altogether there are 7 major plate, one oceanic plate and 6 continental plate. And the 2 types of plates are, the one that constitutes the continent is the continental plate, and the one which constitute the ocean, that is oceanic plate. Now these, I said these plates are continuously in motion. They are moving. So when the plates, suppose this is one plate, this is one plate. When the plates are coming closer to each other, they are moving towards each other, we term it as a convergent boundary. So when they are coming closer to each other, what is the resultant? They are colliding with each other. They create destruction. But sometimes if in between there is a soft matter and they do not hit each other, they come and compress that soft matter. They create mountains. Himalayas are the resultant of this convergent movement of the plates. And suppose when they are hitting each other, what is the resultant? One will slide down, one will rise up. So a part gets subsided below another one. This part, the one that is subsided, is termed as subduction zone, subdued zone, subduction zone. Clear? Now the second movement, the plates are moving apart from each other. They are just moving they are moving away from each other. So what is the resultant? They does not destruct anything, rather they construct. Now you will say, ma'am, how they are constructing? Continental plate. They are moving from each other, apart from each other. So in between, this vacuum space will be filled up by the water. So what is the resultant? Ocean will be developed or originate, or sea will originate. So it is giving an origin to a new landform. And as it is spreading apart, this spreading part is termed as spreading site. Now the third type of movement is considered as a transform boundary. The 2 plates are there. Neither they are coming closer to each other, neither they are moving apart from each other. The resultant, they are just moving in this direction. Horizontally, they are moving in this direction. Neither they are creating anything, neither they are destructing anything. But when they are moving away from each other, means horizontally in this order, a gap is being developed over here termed as faulted zone. So these are faulted zone. One thing is moving apart, so this gap is termed as faulted zone. So these are the, and as neither they are constructive, neither they are destructive. So what sort of margin they have? The transform boundary, they are having conservative margins. They are very much conservative. Neither they destroy anything, neither they construct anything. That is why they are conservative boundary. So these are the 3 types of the boundaries, that is the resultant of the plate movements. Now next, what is the consequence of the plate movement? Now suppose I am taking an example of 2 books. I am taking an example of 2 books. This is one plate and this is another plate. Or I am just taking an example of this. Now suppose this is not a hard matter, it is a soft matter. This is soft matter, this is one plate, this is another plate. When I am giving a pressure from both the ends, what is happening to this book? You can find out the structure is getting folded. The same thing happens on the earth's surface. When any soft matter lies in between the 2 plates, they compress from both the ends, and the resultant a folded structure is developed, and this is termed as folding of rock layers or strata, and the process is termed as folding. The Himalayan mountains are the outcome of this folding activity. Now next consequence is faulting. Now again suppose I am taking this, I am taking another matter. Now suppose this is a matter, I am taking it over here. Now the tensional forces, I am just exerting a tensional forces from both the ends. I am exerting a tensional forces from both the ends. What will be the resultant? The tensional forces will tear out the land surface. It will tear out the land surface in this order. When it will tear out the land surface, what is the resultant? A part that is there over here will subside down. It is termed as process of faulting. These two will be kept in the same order and the middle part will move down. Best example from our country, hopefully you have heard about Narmada River. Narmada Valley has been formed in this order. One side we are having a Vindhyan mountain, another side we are having a Satpura mountain. They got splitted up due to tensional forces activated during the plate movements, and the part that subsided down, this developed a valley region, and this is termed as Rift Valley. Now the third consequence is when such a lot of the convergence or such a lot of destruction is going on, the resultant where there are some sort of gaps, some sort of fissures, the ejected matter, the molten matter that is present within the earth's interior gets ejected out, and this process is volcanic eruption. So these are the three consequences of plate tectonics: folding, the rocks get folded; faulting, the rocks get split up; and the ejected matter through the gaps of the earth's surface is volcanic eruption. Now what is the significance? The last topic for today is the significance. So many activities is continuously going on in their own manner. So what is the resultant? We got lots of landforms. We got mountains, we got plains, we got plateaus, we got valleys, we got coastal areas, many things. So as a resultant, various types of landforms were formed. We got the existence of the continents, and lastly the gap that was spread out was filled up by the water of Panthalassa. The origin of the oceans were also the resultant. So these are the significance of plate tectonic, and I concluded my chapter that all the landforms that we can see, we term it as a physical features, is the resultant of these two features that is continuously activating on the earth's surface: exogenic forces and endogenic forces. No worksheet for today. Follow the class thoroughly, follow the note thoroughly, note it down in your copy, and thank you for following today's class. The next class will deal up with the next process with the worksheet. Thank you.